Welcome back to Vuln Vibes, everybody. We've got another deep dive on tap for you today.
Yeah.
And this one I think is particularly unsettling. We're talking about Schneider Electric
Oh, yeah?
and a critical flaw that they recently had to address in their WebHMI component. Now, WebHMI is a pretty core part of their EcoStruxure platform, so this is not something to take lightly. And looking at the CVSS score, it's a 9.8 out of 10.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty huge.
So right off the bat, we know this is serious stuff. And, for those of you out there who are deep in the world of industrial control systems, you already get it. You understand just how crucial these systems are. But today, we're going to really peel back the layers and understand why this particular vulnerability is so concerning.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's important, to kind of break down the technical jargon a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So this vulnerability is classified as initialization of resource with an insecure default. Now, that might sound like a mouthful, but what it really means is that these affected systems, and we're talking about the EcoStruxure Power Automation System user interface and EcoStruxure Microgrid operation large, specifically those using WebHMI versions 4.1.0.0 and earlier, well, they come shipped with insecure default settings, basically weak passwords, like really weak passwords.
Yeah, like leaving the front door wide open with a big neon sign that says, "Come on in."
Exactly. And to make matters even worse, according to Schneider Electric's advisory, the default username isn't even displayed correctly. So you've got this added layer of confusion, and that just increases the risk even more. An attacker could easily exploit this and gain unauthorized access. And I'm talking about executing commands within the industrial control system.
I mean, when you consider that we're talking about systems that manage critical infrastructure, it's kind of terrifying. This is way beyond just a data breach, right? We're talking potential disruption or even worse, sabotage of essential services.
Absolutely. You're talking power grids, water treatment plants, manufacturing facilities. These are systems that are vital, absolutely vital to our everyday lives.
It's a chilling thought, for sure.
It is. But here's the thing that I find really fascinating, right? We've seen so many incidents in the past where these default credentials have led to major breaches. They're well documented. And yet, insecure defaults, they just keep popping up. It's like a recurring nightmare in the ICS landscape.
It makes you wonder, are we not learning from our mistakes?
It really does sometimes. I think it's a combination of things. There's this rush to connect everything, and that's understandable. We want efficiency. But sometimes we're neglecting those basic security hygiene practices. And that creates this perfect storm for vulnerabilities like this to just thrive.
So let's talk solutions. Schneider Electric did release a hotfix, right? Where do we go from here?
Yeah, they did. It's called, hold on, let me get this right, WebHMI Fixes Service for Standard.v1. So that's out there.
Okay.
But the first line of defense, always change those default passwords. I cannot stress that enough. And Schneider Electric also strongly recommends not exposing the WebHMI to the internet. It seems obvious, but you'd be surprised.
Yeah, that's good advice. And of course, all the classic best practices still apply, right? Network segmentation, keeping those critical systems isolated, robust physical security measures, and secure remote access protocols. We can't forget about those.
Exactly. It's all about layers. You want to build up these security measures. Think of it as a comprehensive defense strategy.
Well, this has been, I'd say, a bit of a sobering look at a critical vulnerability, but also a good reminder that even in the world of these sophisticated industrial control systems, the basics still matter. Basic security hygiene, it can make all the difference.
Couldn't agree more.
And to our listeners out there, we'll leave you with this thought. The lines between IT and OT, they're blurring more and more every day. So how do we make sure that we're achieving that balance? That balance between robust security and the kind of connectivity that drives innovation. It's not an easy question to answer, and it's something that needs our constant attention. So keep that in mind as you move forward.
Thanks for tuning in to Vuln Vibes, everybody.
Yeah, thanks everyone.